everything you're currently seeing is not police body cam footage in a rundown building. Everything you can see right now, the trees, the concrete, the hands and gun, are all a hyper-real looking video game. What could finally be declared photoreal. Technology has come to a point now where games can look nearly indistinguishable from real life, allowing entirely new levels of immersion to be reached in gaming.
Shots fired! Shots fired!
However, looking at this footage from the unreleased title Unrecord, I have to ask, is this truly a game or just a tech demo? Let me explain. First, let's notice what it is that's making this look so insanely real. Number 1. Lighting. I think, analyzing this, that the lighting is doing most of the heavy lifting in making these scenes look hyper-real. The way light sources in dark rooms are blown out, showing just white with bloom around the edges, feels real to what we'd expect to see from a camera. The way the light seems to diffuse into a larger space in a realistic way. Also impressive. In fact, one of the times in the video that looks the most like a game to me is when the light does not seem to behave as it would in real life. The flashlight scene. Pretty much every game does this with a flashlight, where the light seems to have a defined edge where everything outside of it is nearly or entirely black. I suspect this is done for gameplay reasons to make you more anxious about what might be lurking in your periphery. But it's not the way that flashlights actually work, so if you're trying to make the game immersive, this doesn't quite work. Number 2. Clutter. Looking at each of these spaces, the amount of just random looking clutter around really sells the map as looking real. With my very limited knowledge of how this might be achieved, I have to wonder if photo scans were a big part of capturing real spaces. Some of the objects that would be later added seem actually less real and out of place as well. Notice these rocks, or these barrels. Number 3. Movement. This is a big one. Notice the way the camera moves and shakes and how the body seems to make the camera quake with each step. When you compare this to other FPS games, you get some minimal shake on steps, but nothing like this. Is it actually accurate to real-world body cams?
Shots fired! Shots fired!
Actually, pretty close. But what does this do for moving and shooting in the game? Can it really feel smooth and controllable when you're wobbling all over the place? I don't think so, which makes a lot of sense why this game is a single-player, story-focused FPS and not a competitive online shooter. Notice too that when they shoot the pistol, its recoil makes it swing wildly in both the vertical and horizontal axis. However, the suspects seem to go down after a few cartoonishly bad shots every time. This seems more like you just need to aim somewhere near them for them to go down, rather than place really accurate shots. Compare this gameplay with something like Escape from Tarkov, or Ready or Not, to see how the muzzle needs to be on target in order to take the bad guy out. This will play entirely differently, but perhaps could still feel cool if you're in a high-stakes, immersive situation in a way games with tighter, more controllable gameplay do not. But I can't imagine that to be the case because at the end of the day, a game demands from you to control the character in order to succeed. If you're simply asked to shoot somewhere near the bad guy, it's kind of like having your training wheels permanently welded to your bike. I have to hope then that the experience of moving through such real-looking environments is immersive enough to make the game fun to play, without the feeling of truly having agency over your character's actions. They do say the game is focused on a story where you are unraveling clues and solving some kind of mystery. Currently, the way the game looks quickly creates a mental bridge to other tactical shooters, but it's very possible that it's not actually that and wasn't really trying to be anything like them. But then again, Steam says in its tags, realistic, tactical, FPS, so it's hard to say. Unrecord has no release date at the moment, so it's a long way out. I genuinely hope to be wrong about everything even somewhat negative that I had to say so far, as it truly looks visually stunning. I hope it has gameplay to back it up. Finally, it's important to remember that if this title doesn't hit the mark on gameplay, they still would have busted the door wide open on photoreal-looking games, further pushing the envelope on what's graphically possible in video games. I'm super excited to watch their development cycle for Unrecord and see what they show us next. If you liked this video, hit like and subscribe to see more.